The ultimate clash between Jean Silva and Diego Lopes has finally wrapped up, and reactions from MMA pros quickly followed with bold predictions on what this result could mean for both fighters' future in the sport.
Oh, man. What an elbow by Diego Lopes.
Wow, they both landed that elbow, and Diego Lopes came out on top.
Well, you said it. That was what was going to land.
Man.
We thought Jean Silva was going to be the one to land it.
They both did, but
yeah,
man, that elbow is way underrated. We're seeing it more and more in mixed martial arts today.
Cara, tô me sentindo bem pra caramba. Eu falei que ia fazer essa parada parecer fácil. Nesse jogo tem nível pra ser nesse nível mais alto. Eu falei isso. Falar antes da luta é fácil, difícil é demonstrar lá em cima como eu fiz hoje. E nada, só agradecer a toda a galera de Manaus, a galera que me apoia. Tamo junto, é nóis. Eu falei, vamos ver quem tá pronto de verdade amanhã à noite no octógono. E essa noite eu provei que eu sou o cara.
You know, I mean, prepared a lot for this fight. I told whole week, I'm a common guy, but I mean, demonstrating the octagon. No, I tell you yesterday too, it's like, in this game heavy level. Tomorrow, today, I'm in show for everyone. This game heavy level. I permanent in the high level. I told you, bro. It's like it's not for only talking. I told you this is easy money. In the weight yesterday, I told you it's easy money. Not for the weight. It's for the fight. I told you for my money too. It's like 2 months ago, this guy offers the fight for me. It's like, okay, you sure you want to fight this guy? Yeah. This is the fight for you. Okay. So I told you, Jay, this is his fight for me.
After the fight, it looked like he maybe tried to punch you. What was going on there?
Yeah, it's like I'm surprised with this too. Like I feel the punch in my back of my head. I mean, I'm turning on. It's like he jump puts me in the back of my head. No, I don't understand for why. But it's okay. This is maybe the emotion, no, this time, because this guy is a little bit hungry because this lost the fight, no. But it's okay. I feel good now. This is my moment.
Two from Jean, misses the second one. Spinning elbow drops Jean bad. He's dropped bad. Diego's ringing on him. At the end of round 2. Jean is sliced open bad by a spinning elbow. They're gonna step in. Round 2 TKO. Diego Lopes. There's a man from out west. Little early, little back of the head, but Jean was grabbing the cage the whole time.
I didn't expect Diego to look so dominant early. I thought, I knew Diego's chin will probably hold up, but I thought, Jean Silva might land big on him early and then maybe tire, and then Diego maybe come in them later rounds or something like that. I didn't expect him to just grab a hold of him and just almost ragdoll him, Now, I don't mean that any disrespect to Jean Silva, but quite surprising how sort of easy it was for Diego to control him. And what happened in the second round when he started getting tagged, that's what I thought would happen in the early round, in the first round. I thought Jean would start landing big shots and things like that. I thought maybe Diego could have done a little bit more because he was like staying in the pocket, like right in firing range, but not firing, which surprised me.
However, Diego Lopes shared his thoughts about the fighting nerds, explaining that every fighter is different, but emphasized that Jean Silva carried extra pressure as the last man from his team still in the UFC after recent setbacks. Lopes suggested that this heavy expectation may have influenced Silva's overall performance. Lopes.
Can I ask your opinion on the fighting nerds? Because everyone has an opinion on them. Last weekend, they didn't have a great weekend with Bohalio and Hufi. Is that any sort of indication as to what kind of a fighter he is, or is everyone different in your opinion?
I think everyone's different, no? Everyone's different, but this guy like have the same style, no? It's like this. I think is now Jean have too much pressure on your back because the only guy in the team is staying on the field in the UFC. I think he have a lot of pressure, no? A lot of pressure. Maybe this is affecting him in this fight.
Jean Silva meanwhile warned that Diego Lopes had basically signed his own death contract by calling him out. Speaking through a translator, Silva compared Diego's words to signing his own coffin and vowed that he would be the one to bury him. Silva
perhaps didn't want it either, but then Diego just went online and stuff and made some statements about the fact that he would fight me over the weekend if he could. So basically, Diego was doing matchmaking and basically signed on this coffin already. So screw that. I mean, that's it. I mean, he signed on it. So if that's what he wants to be, I'll just put some dirt on that coffin.
Dan Hooker predicted that the winner of Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva would earn a title shot against Alexander Volkanovski. He explained that both fighters brought excitement and impact to the division, and whoever emerged victorious was destined for a championship opportunity. Hooker.
I feel like 100% whoever gets their hand raised in this fight will be fighting for a title because they're the most exciting guys. I hear Lopes moves the needle. I know Silva and the fighting nerds are doing an incredible job. Winner of this fight gets a title shot, and a lot of people will say, oh, there's some other guys out there.
Moreover, Jean Silva dismissed Diego Lopes's claim of superior striking, insisting Lopes must not have watched his past fights. Silva explained that every opponent he faced was taller and tried to keep distance, yet he always closed the gap, fought inside, and knocked them down. He sealed his confidence with a bold guarantee: a knockout over Lopes. Silva.
Diego Lopes said, he said in an interview yesterday, he said, you know, I'm very comfortable when it comes to striking. What are you expecting? Do you expect Diego Lopes to move on the outside, or do you expect him to, you know, kind of hold true on his words and stand in the pocket and make this a pretty wild fight for the fans?
Bom, vamos lá. Acho que ele não andou assistindo minhas vitórias em cima dos meus últimos colegas. Se ele perceber, todos eles foram alto. Todos eles eu tive perto, e do Diego não vai ser diferente.
I guess Diego missed all my last fights. All my opponents are taller. All of them wanted to fight far away, not close to me. I got close to every one of them. I fought in close distance, close range, and they all went down.
E com tudo isso, a certeza que eu vou te dar é da minha vida inteira que eu vou nocautear ele.
What I'm telling you is, as sure as I am about anything that I've ever been certain in my entire life, is that I will knock him out.
On the other hand, Diego Lopes acknowledged Jean Silva's impressive UFC run, but emphasized that he never shied away from tough matchups. For Lopes, this fight represented both a major challenge and a chance to test himself against one of the best in the world. Lopes.
He's been on a roll as of late. He's had a good start to his UFC career. Have you been impressed with what he's done?
Yeah, I built my career as last after the fight, you know? It's like I never sit down in my house for wait to one fight it's like comfortable for me, you know? I like the big challenge. I think now having Jean Silva in the front is a big challenge for me, but I prove and test myself with the best.
Isef Zal shared his thoughts on the Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva clash, highlighting its impact on the 145 pounds title picture. He explained that a Lopes win might have opened the door for someone like Law Murphy to get the next title shot. But if Silva delivered on his promise and finished Lopes, Zal believed a championship opportunity was nearly certain for Silva.
Fight with Diego Lopes and Jean Silva. Big one in your division. Some people feel like maybe if Silva wins, that he might, you know, be close to a title shot. Who do you see winning that? Obviously, should mention that Diego Lopes is part of your management group. Gotta add that.
No, see, you can't do that, dog. But no, man, I feel like if Diego wins, what's his name? Laurent Murphy gets the title. But if Jean Silva, especially goes what he says, what he's gonna do is finish this Diego, I think he's guaranteed the title shot. I think they're gonna say, Laurent, see you later. Jean Silva gets.
Aiden Ross predicted that if the Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva fight went the distance, Lopes would take the win. But if there was a stoppage, Ross believed Silva would score the knockout. He reminded fans that Silva nearly beat Volk in what many called one of the fights of the year, and stressed that Silva had the power to finish Lopes Silva.
Guys, if it goes the distance, Diego wins. If there's a stoppage of any sort, TKO, knockout, Jean, definitely. I'm telling you guys. The safe bet is distance Diego or Jean KO. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. I swear that's the one of the, what are the odds on that? He's coming up a loss from Volk. Guys, he almost beat Volk. I know you guys are gonna be on my ass. That was the fight of the year. He almost beat Volk. Knockout. You know he did. You know he did. Guys, are you clip farming? Okay. No, I'm not.
Heavyweight Curtis Blades sided with Diego Lopes, pointing to his reach advantage. He noted that both men were aggressive scrappers, which made a finish possible since their non-stop pressure could leave openings. In Blades' view, if the exchanges got wild, Silva was the one more likely to get caught. Silva.
Go with Diego because he's longer. They both like to scrap. It's going to be a war, but in this one, I can see somebody getting a finish just because they're so offensively aggressive, and they're all right with not being as tight on their defense. I think someone's going to get caught just in this exchange, and I think it'll be.
Michael Chiesa also supported Diego Lopes, praising his ferocity and resilience. He emphasized that Lopes could match Jean Silva's intensity while relying on his durable chin and mental toughness. Chiesa noted how Lopes had evolved from past setbacks into a genuine contender, and predicted that his hunger to reclaim a place in the title picture would drive him to victory.
Ooh, man! God dang, that's a fight. That's a fighter's fight. Man, I'm a big Lopes fan, and it's not just the mullet. I'm a big fan of his work. He's gonna test Jean Silva, but I think that I just think the ferocity that Diego Lopes brings to the octagon, he can match the ferocity that Jean Silva brings to the octagon. He will meet him in the middle. He's got an incredible chin. He's incredibly tough, and I think it's one of those situations where Diego Lopes grows leaps and bounds when he comes up short. We saw what happened after he lost to Movsar Evloev. He turned into just a totally different animal, and in 2 years got himself into a title fight against Alex Volkanovski in a very, very close fight. I think he's going to be really hungry to get back into the title picture. I see Diego.
Combat sports analyst Nick Barnhill praised Diego Lopes' toughness, but highlighted Jean Silva for his unique skills. He explained how Silva uses his opponent's pressure against them to circle out of danger and take the back, calling the technique creative and almost John Jones-like. Barnhill described Silva as the most promising fighter in his group, with the strongest chance to capture a UFC title first.
He's durable, he knows how to fight, he knows how to return fire. Jean Silva is one of those guys who I don't know find somebody who can move quite like him. He was working this one technique that was so cool. It was on if somebody were to basically change levels, shoot in, and tie you up against the cage. So naturally what you do is you get sideways sort of in a sprinter stance, lower your base, get nice and heavy, try to lift them up to your waistline if you can. So what he was doing in that situation, he would make sure that the arms were separated from behind him so they don't have a grasp of him, but they have him sort of by both sides. And what he's doing is using their pressure to backflip out above them and then take their back.
I need to see
There's
that.
the evolution of this game that we're talking about. I just think that Jean Silva is one of those guys who mentally, like John Jones, can just come up with something on the spot, and it's the perfect technique for the scenario. And maybe we don't even have a name for it, right? We don't even know what it's called. Jean Silva to me feels like the best fighting nerd and the one that has the chance to win the belt first, but I do think we see a few fights.
Elijah Smith respected both Diego Lopes and Jean Silva, but slightly favored Lopes to bounce back. He stressed that Lopes must remain composed and avoid rushing into Silva's dangerous countershots. Smith suggested Lopes should mix up strikes to the head, body, and legs while blending in wrestling and grappling. He also noted that Silva's conditioning in the championship rounds would be interesting to watch.
I love Diego Lopes. I love Jean Silva.
But I would like to see Diego Lopes get back on a
Do you
win.
think he does it though? I know you said you wanted to see him get back on track, but do you think he does it?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think he does. If he stays within himself and not get too wild, because Jean Silva, he's a really good counter. He's really good at countering and just throwing wild stuff. So I just wouldn't want Diego to come at him on a straight line, kind of like the Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria, because Jean Silva does have power. He does have a lot of power. So I would like to see him, attack from head, body, legs, like all over. I would like to see him diverse his strikes and implement that his wrestling and grappling, because they're both really good grapplers. But I would like to see what I want.
Jeff Neal admitted it was a tough matchup, saying he wasn't certain how the fight would unfold since both fighters were skilled and well-rounded. He believed the contest should be seen as even, though he acknowledged why Jean Silva was favored given his proven track record.
Oh no, that's a good one. That's one of those ones I'm just gonna have to watch and see, because I like them both. You know what I mean? They're both cool guys. And they both are real talented. I don't know how it's going to translate whenever they fight each other.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Jean Silva's the favorite. Do you think that's correct, or should Diego Lopes be the favorite in that fight?
Actually, I feel like it should be even.
There you go.
But given like the body of work, I guess I can see why John.
UFC middleweight fighter Eric Anders weighed in and favored Diego Lopes in the matchup. He highlighted Lopes as a wild, fearless striker with solid submission skills, though his aggressive approach could leave gaps. Anders admitted Jean Silva was capable of capitalizing on errors, but he still gave the advantage to Lopes.
I'm going to go with Diego. He's a wild fighter. I guess so is Jean, but, he's got a really good submission game. He's fearless with the striking. Kind of reckless, so that could be like
with Diego Lopes. I wanted Diego to beat both, but he fought just not very. He fought like very stubbornly. He was chasing that finish. And it's so easy to get locked in that mode. But if he fights like that against Jean Silva, I think that'll be a problem. But if the regular Diego shows up, I think he's gonna beat Jean Silva.